How did the civil rights cases limit the scope of the 14th Amendment? Have you ever wondered how a series of court cases could shape the rights of individuals in America? The civil rights cases of 1883 played a major role in limiting the reach of the 14th Amendment. This amendment was meant to ensure that all individuals, especially those who were formerly enslaved, received equal protection under the law. However, the Supreme Court's decisions in these cases changed that. The civil rights cases involved several lawsuits against private businesses that refused service to African Americans. The Supreme Court ruled that the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment applied only to actions taken by state governments. This meant that Congress could not use the amendment to stop racial discrimination by private individuals or businesses. So, if a hotel owner or a theater manager chose to deny service to someone based on race, the federal government had no power to intervene. As a result, the Civil Rights Act of 1875, which aimed to eliminate racial discrimination in public accommodations, was declared unconstitutional. The court argued that this law attempted to regulate private conduct rather than state action. Justice Joseph Bradley wrote the majority opinion, stating that the 14th Amendment merely abolishes slavery and does not allow Congress to punish private racial discrimination. Interestingly, Justice John Marshall Harlan was the only dissenting voice. He believed that the spirit of the 14th Amendment should protect all citizens from discrimination, regardless of whether it came from the state or private individuals. Unfortunately, his view did not prevail, and the ruling opened the door for legalized segregation and discrimination under Jim Crow laws. Looking back at the American Civil War and the Reconstruction Era, this decision marked a significant setback. The Reconstruction period aimed to secure civil rights for freed slaves, but the civil rights cases limited the federal government's ability to enforce racial equality. This ruling allowed states and private entities to continue discriminatory practices without federal oversight. The impact of this decision was felt for decades. It delayed meaningful civil rights protections until new laws and court decisions in the mid-20th century began to address private discrimination through other constitutional powers. The civil rights cases effectively narrowed the application of the 14th Amendment, leaving many African Americans vulnerable to discrimination in their daily lives. In essence, the civil rights cases of 1883 reshaped the legal landscape regarding civil rights in America. By limiting the scope of the 14th Amendment, the Supreme Court's ruling allowed for ongoing racial discrimination and segregation, which would take many years to challenge and change.